I just put them on there too. Hang on. Why is this not working? Wait a second. I'm live. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk after this. All right. Let's see if this works. This is not going to work. Poop. So we're gonna have to do it old school. Fine. My webcam is saying no go. So we're going to do it this way. So hopefully everybody can hear me. A-okay. Don't mind my husband. So this one is all about how to clear negativity. So let me make sure this is on. This is on. Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, hi. Oh, shush. So can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping so. Maybe. Yes? No? Hello? Hi? You can hear me? Yes? Yes. Okay. We're good. All right, everybody. So this one is all about clearing negativity. So I'm all open for questions. Again, we could all discuss this stuff. So I'm going to hit some major points here. And then we can then, kind of answer questions, or I can answer questions for you guys. So the reason why I'm doing this is because there's a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of easy fixes that people can do to help get rid of negativity. Alrighty. So I'm going to go through some of those with you. And so there's three different ways that we can clear negativity. So it's within our environment, such as our house, office, things like that. It's within our relationships. And the last one is within yourself. So I'm going to be hitting all three of these subjects: within your environment, within your relationships, and within yourself. And I did bring some goodies with me because I'm a visual person, and I like trinkety things and things like that. So I brought me some goodies, and I literally just got done eating at Maximo's here in Elkhorn, which, by the way, best Mexican food, Taco Tuesday. Come on. So, but I brought some goodies that I'm going to show you guys, some different things that you can use or do around the house that's going to be able to raise them vibes. So, okay, so within your environment, first things first, I'm going to talk about. Now, there's different things that we can do within our environment, including the home, including the office, that we can do to get rid of negative energy and negative people. See. So the first things first that we can do within our environment is the good old-fashioned sage. So what sage does, and if you haven't seen my video on YouTube, I'm going to tell you to go back and watch that video on how to sage, or with Palo Santo, or with sweetgrass, or cedar, or whatever floats your boat. It's the same thing. So what you're going to do is literally take your little shell, take a piece of sage, and whether it's loose or like this, it doesn't matter. You're going to light it on fire and then put it in your shell, and literally take your feather and waft it around the house, saying something like, God, angels, please fill this house with love and light. Anything not serving me or my family's highest good must leave now. So that's something really simple that you can do. We always want to sage on the new moon, and then we put our crystals out to charge on the full moon. Now, there is some eclipses coming around, so I probably, as wanky as this energy is, I probably kind of hold off on putting the crystals out to charge. So, like I said, number one, Palo Santo, sweetgrass. Incense also counts. So if you like the smell of incense, awesome. That's another great way to help rid negativity. When you're all done with that, open up the windows, air things out a little bit. That really helps. So first things first, saging, smudging the home, excellent way. The second thing that you can use or do or have in your home is plants. So not everybody's a green thumb. I understand that. But there's a lot of even cacti. So anything anything that you can do as far as plants are concerned, plants help to raise the vibration of any room. Not only does it give us extra oxygen and suck our CO2, but it does help to raise the vibration of any room. So even just a few plants really, really helps. So that's another one that I'm going to tell you that works really well. And Amy was asking if we can sage even when it's not a full moon. Yeah, I have 3 teenagers in the house. I sage a lot. I sage their ass too. So feel free to sage children. So nothing wrong with that. So, okay. The other thing that you can do outside of plants, like I said, plants are always an awesome thing that we can do. And it doesn't matter, whatever's, fairly easy for you. Another thing that you can do is salt lamps. So now salt lamps here in Nebraska, and you got to remember, Nebraska, in our summers, it gets really humid, and there's other places, coastlines, that are really humid as well. So if you do get a salt lamp, I'm going to tell you, in the summertime especially, you want to make sure that you keep it on at all times. Now, salt is, it's an easy way to help raise the vibration, because what it does is it adds negative ions to your environment. So negative ions are like the same type of energy that when a storm comes in, right before that storm comes in, it just smells good. It's full of negative ions. That's the smell that you're smelling. So the other thing is, when you're on the coastline or near the ocean or even near a lake, a big body of water, the reason why it's relaxing is because it's full of negative ions. So salt lamps help you to raise the vibration of a room by providing negative ions. So the bigger, the better. The bigger, the better. So if you have a big room, why do you guys always play? Why do you have to play now? Can you just wait? But negative ions fill that room to help get rid of negative hooju. So bigger areas, I suggest bigger salt lamps. So, and if you're going to do salt lamps in your bedroom, again, you want to keep them on, because remember, it's salt. It's going to suck up moisture, and then that moisture is going to go, on your table. So the other thing that you can do is just keep it on, so that way it doesn't burn. It stays warm enough so it's not going to suck in all that moisture. I know my dogs are jerks. Every time I do one of these things on YouTube, they always have to play. I'm like, I swear they just do it just because it's like, hey, mom's busy, let's play. Piss her off. But like I said, salt lamps, A-okay. If you're going to have them in the bedroom, get a dimmer switch. Because nobody likes to wake up at 3 a.m. and look at their salt lamp and go daylight. So it kind of activates the brain a little bit. So not a bad idea to get a dimmer switch if it's going to be inside the bedroom. So, but like I said, I like salt lamps. I got quite a few. The other thing we can do is essential oils. So certain essential oils such as lavender, rose, really help to calm a mood. So essential oils, especially within diffusers, things like that, that's an A-okay thing as well to help really get rid of that negative energy. Another thing is one of my favorites, which is crystals. So adding crystals to a room will help to regulate the energy within a room. It's an old feng shui thing. So feng shui is big when it comes to ridding negativity. I don't know. I'll be real with you. I know about this much about feng shui. I don't know that. Every time I try to learn it, it's like, whoop, it just goes away. So I don't think it's for me to learn, but feng shui does play a huge part in this. But this is a clear quartz crystal. So what you want to get are the more raw points for the house. So this one, for instance, I got it at Awakenings. It's $9.99, fairly cheap. So having this anywhere in a room helps to regulate, it moves the energy within a room. So instead of it having been real stagnant, I mean, for instance, how many times have you ever went to your grandparents' house and it's really stagnant energy, right? Because they do the same thing over and over and over every single day. So this breaks up this stagnant type of feel of energy. Clear quartz are awesome ones. So is amethyst. This is a nice deep purple amethyst from Uruguay. $30. Like I said, here at Awakenings, we're getting them cheaper all the time. Stop it. So we're getting them cheaper all the time. So that's what this one is all about. Like I said, this one will help. Stop. This will help to break up the energy within a room. These amethysts are usually a little bit better, believe it or not, in bedrooms, whereas clear quartz is better kind of out and around. So that's what these two are. Like I said, any more, these are fairly reasonably priced. The other one I'm going to tell you is rose quartz. Rose quartz is great, especially in family rooms. So because this really is the love crystal, it solidifies families together, especially if you guys fight a lot. Stephen, can you turn that on, please? Turn that on. So if there's a lot of fighting within a home, this helps to kind of clear that energy out. So this is my love crystal. So if we need to put a little love, you guys are arguing in the kitchen all the time, we put one of these in there. So this is just clear quartz on a stand. So that's what this one is. All righty. Rose quartz on a stand. So outside of that, crystals are an excellent way to help break up the monotony within a home. All right, that really helps out. So the other thing that you can do is singing bowls. So I have a little singing bowl, and a lot of people sing them like that. You can do it that way. You can also do it the old, if I get it right, the old school way. You got to keep your hand flat, and it's really hard to do if it's not felt tipped. But anyway, you get the hint. So singing bowls are an excellent way, especially within offices where you can't sage because, you know, that's like a big no-no. You'll set off the smoke alarms. So that's an easy way, because what singing bowls do is it harmonizes all the energies within a room. So the other thing you can do is ring a bell. So I don't know if you've ever been to a metaphysical fair before, but there's always one lady or guy that walks up and down the aisles, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling, and he's always ringing a bell. And at first I was like, what the hell are they doing? Why do they do that? But when you get a bunch of people together in a room, they all vibrate at different energy levels. So what that person is doing is causing things to go into resonance, not dissonance, but resonance within a room to keep everything more harmonious. So bell ringing is a great one. You can do the cheap version and clap your hands. So clapping your hands, it forces energy to move in a room as well. So that's another really, really good thing that you can do. So even on the cheap, if you don't have sage and you feel like you need to maybe, move some stagnant energy, and stagnant energy usually is very common within bedrooms. So clapping your hands really, really loud will help to get rid of any stagnant or stale energy. So these are called singing bowls. So I said these are like $20, so pretty cheap. They go from $20 all the way to like $500. So, but like I said, that's the reason clapping hands is a really great way of like I said, harmonizing. You got to think in terms of energy, harmonizing all that stuff. Okay, outside of that, the other thing is, which I didn't mention, by the way, when you're saging, if you can't do sage and you're in an office, sage spray works awesome. So we want to do sage spray. And then the other thing I also forgot to mention was black tourmaline. So black tourmaline is really awesome. So if you've got a negative husband, if you've got a negative mom, if you've got somebody that's really, really negative, black tourmaline is great because it rids that negativity. So this is a black tourmaline pyramid, $12.22. So this little pyramid really, really helps in an office space area. So that way, if somebody who's really negative has to come talk to you, they're going to do it in a shorter amount of time, because this will literally irritate the hell out of them. So they're going to talk to you what they need, and then they're out. They're not going to sit and linger and bitch. So they're going to get the heck out of there. So this is black tourmaline. Everybody should have black tourmaline. I think they really should, whether it's in a bracelet, a necklace, a pyramid. We even have black tourmaline on pins. That helps to rid that negativity. That's a really good idea. So that's awesome. I'll go to other crystals. The other thing that you can do that seems common sense, but people forget, is to clean your house. Messy house equals messy mind. So if you have a bunch of clutter in your house, I can tell you that you will not be happy. You will have issues with grief or depression. So you've got to clean your house. And I don't care if you need to ask somebody to help come clean your house. So do what you need to do to get rid of the clutter, get rid of the crap. You should be able to have one room that you can go to that's decluttered, that you can actually breathe in. So that's why usually when we begin to go through a spiritual awakening, the first thing we do is usually clean up our house. So we get rid of a bunch of stuff. But like I said, always remember that if you're having a hard time, you're having a lot of anxiety, you're having a lot of depression, you're struggling with your daily life, go back to simplicity, because simplicity is where your bliss is. That means to get the house back in order. That means to, do your dishes, do your laundry, do your chores that you need to get done. And again, if you need to hire somebody to help you, hire somebody. That's not you being a failure. That's you rather paying somebody for 2 hours to clean your house versus you doing it so you can spend time with your kids or doing something that you enjoy. So, but please don't think of it as a failure. I know a lot of moms do. And I'm like, no, you're better off spending the 2 hours hanging out with your kids than you are scrubbing your floors, your toilets, and everything else. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, remember, always go back to the basics. So another thing that you can do that I don't think a lot of people think about is salting around your home. Now, salting is an old pagan tradition. So, and all you got to do is just take some, preferably black sea salt, but sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, anything along those lines. And you're going to take the salt and go on the outside of your home, do one big circle on the outside of your home, stating something similar to what you would have done when you were saging the house. So anything for my highest good can stay. Anything that is not for me or my family's highest good must leave now. And putting that big circle of salt is really going to help to protect the home. Now, I know if people have issues with ghosts and poltergeists, things like that, I recommend the salt. 9 times out of 10, we can knock a bunch of stuff out when it comes to the sage, all right? So 9 times out of 10, we can do that. So the other thing is that if you don't, if you're not really into the sage thing and you're not really into the salt thing, go down and get some holy water. So go down and get some holy water, put it in the doors, put it over the windows, things like that. That works too. Frankie, I think you can get black sea salt at, I think natural grocers, Whole Foods, internet, so things like that. So those, let me try and think. Did I get everything? Yes, those are the best ones. So that's basically some of the best things that you can do within your home office, your environment. So any questions when it comes to anything as far as your environment is concerned? So those are all really simple, easy little tricks that you can do. So like I said, declutter, sage, crystals, plants, salt lamps, any feng shui of any sort. Like I said, hand clapping, singing bowls, anything like that. So that makes sense. Best crystals for the kids' room, almost always rose quartz is a good go-to. Same with the clear quartz. So, yep. Okay. So after that, within relationships, how to get rid of toxic people within your relationships. So understand that a lot of this, it takes 2 people to be in a relationship, right? So I want you to protect you. We're not going to talk about the other person, what they're doing wrong or anything else. I always go back to the question of, I don't care if you married an alcoholic, bipolar, mean son of a bitch. My question will go back to you and say, why do you continue to allow it? That's my question, because it's not about the other person. It's about you. Why do you allow that? So what we're going to talk about is how to maybe get rid of negative around you. All righty. So, and somebody's asking me if salt lamps from Amazon legit. Some are, some aren't. Some are, some aren't. If you want to know if it's a real salt lamp, lick it. I know that sounds so weird, but lick it. So salt lamp is salty. So if it's plastic, you're going to know it because it won't taste like it. So, but we still sell salt lamps at the store, but it's getting harder to ship them because it's expensive. So, all right. So what we can do within relationships, this is relationships within coworkers, family, friends, relationships, the whole nine. So first things first is we want to set boundaries. So what do I mean by setting boundaries? So setting boundaries is something along the lines of like, I love you and I respect you, but when you start talking about XYZ, I'm out. So everybody knows when we talk to, say, our mom, for instance, and the conversation's great, and then you know damn well when it's about ready to turn to the negative. What I tell people is hang up the phone. Oh, I gotta go. Somebody's calling. I'll talk to you later. So don't feel like you need to stay on the phone to listen to them, bitch. You don't. Bail. Get out of there. You want to protect your energy. That's setting a boundary. So understand, like I said, setting a boundary is you are no longer willing to allow foolish behavior, basically put. So, because again, not about the other person, it's about you protecting your energy. So you must set boundaries. And setting boundaries for an empath also includes saying the word no. No truly is a complete sentence. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone on why you say no. And that's really difficult for empaths. I know that, but I want my empaths to get better with saying, no, I can't. I'm sorry. Change the subject. That's simple. All right. So the other thing that we can do is bubble tricks. So I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about bubble tricks, but what that is that you are going to imagine yourself in a big white bubble. And so I usually do this before I go to Walmart. Some days it's a double bubble. So what I do is I'll say something in my head, God, angels, spirit guides, please surround me with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And you imagine yourself in that big white bubble. That's setting an intent. That's protecting your energy. So that way, when I check out at the checkout line, somebody isn't telling me their life story. And you know what I mean, because they will just blah. They just tell you everything. You're like, oh. So, and you can't like really get away because you're like, okay, I understand that you're hurting. And yeah, that sucks, but I just want milk. So when you do the bubble trick, it really does protect your energy. Now, I'm going to fair warn you with the empaths. If you do the bubble trick, you will notice that certain people will be real sour, very sour. And you're just like walking, all of a sudden they give you that dirty look and you're like, what the hell is your problem? Well, what it is because you put that bubble up, they're the complete polar opposite of you. You're happy, high vibing, protecting your energy. They're low, negative, toxic thinkers. And so what's happening is when you pass somebody like that, they're going to give you the evil eye. They're going to be like, They're going to do one of those. Don't take it personal. That's how you know your bubble's working. Okay? So understand that like energy attracts like energy. And it's just like two magnets repelling each other. If you're high energy in a bubble and they're not, you ain't going to mix. You won't. And let me give you the perfect example. A couple of years back, Steven and he's like, Ma, I got this birthday party. I'm like, crap, forgot all about it, right? So I had to go to Walmart. Of all places, I had to go. And it was one of those days where I was fairly tapped in and I couldn't really tap out. But I'm like, okay, we got to get this done. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do the double bubble. So I get in there, we're in the toy section, and I had my cart. But you know when somebody's behind you, right? You're like, oh, I got to get over because I was in the middle of the aisle. So I got over, and as I was getting over, at the time I was thinking about getting a Fiat. And Steven said something really off the cuff like, what? Because he's like, that's such a small car. What do you want to get a Fiat for? And the way he said it was hilarious. So I started giggling, and of course I started smiling. And this lady passed by me, and I was smiling, and I looked at her, and she goes, what are you looking at? And then put her head down and got the hell out of there. And I had to really think about that and go, okay, why is she reacting that way? It was because I had the double bubble up. I was happy because I was laughing about something funny, and she was the complete opposite. And so she attacked me or kind of bit me a little bit so she could get away from me faster. So like I said, when things like that happen, please don't take it personal. You can't. Your job ain't to make everybody damn happy. You think I make everybody happy all the time? No, I don't. So, but that's not my job. I'm not here to please everybody. So I'm just here to help people along the way if they're willing. So I learned a long time ago, we don't take that personal. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Bubble tricks work. All right. So the next thing I talk about is cord cutting. So cord cutting it's a very simple concept. When you meet somebody, you attach what's called an ethereal cord to yourself and that person. All right. So when you do that, the more you talk with this person, the more that cord gets thicker. Now, children with their mothers have an umbilical cord. So it's very similar. But mothers, when it comes to their children, when they say they're mama bears, they've got thick cords with their children. All right. So moms always do. Within families, we have very thick cords. Where do you think the term family ties comes from? Family ties? Cords. So understand that's what that all means. All right. So what I mean by cutting cords is that when we exit a negative relationship or a toxic relationship, those cords sometimes still stay attached. Now, there's other people that are like, oh, we should never cut cords. I say you should. And the simple reason is because when you die, you aren't corded to anyone. So there is nothing wrong with cutting cords every once in a while. Simple, easy trick to do. There's a couple things you can do. I usually cut cords at the end of the day when I'm taking a salt bath. So I will sit in the salt bath and I will say, I hereby cut any cords that may bind me to anyone else. And I literally go in the front and I do it in the back with my hand. So, and you'll feel your solar plexus kind of wiggle a little bit. That's your cord cutting. Other people don't feel comfortable doing it with their hand. You can do, next best thing, piece of selenite. So everybody should have selenite. So this is another piece that can be within the house that's really easy, but it also charges all your other crystals. So piece of selenite, this is a little stick. It's like $5.55, right? You just take it and say, I hereby cut any cords that may bind me to so-and-so. So do it in the front and in the back. Now, once you cut them, yes, you cut that cord, but here's the catch. The minute you cut the cord, the other person will feel it. So don't be surprised if you cut the cord and all of a sudden the ex-boyfriend pops up and you're like, I just cut my cord from you. Here's the deal. If they text you, call you, don't answer, but don't respond. You respond, you attach that cord right away again. So this is the cord cutting is something that we may have to do a few times, okay? This is something that we might have to do a few times. So if that doesn't work and you're in an, especially like an empathic and a narcissistic relationship, sometimes there's more than cords. Sometimes there's actually hooks, especially with really toxic, abusive relationships. So there's more than cords. The abuser will put in hooks. And at first, when somebody said they put in hooks, I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. I didn't believe it until I got out of a really toxic relationship. And I went to an energy healer and they were like, well, you got some hooks. Let's just remove those. I'm like, okay, sure. You know, I felt burning in my back, which I thought was odd, but it wasn't until the next day that I was like, oh, I was sore. I was so sore. And sure as heck, I got a phone call from that person and I did not answer. So understand that you have to be completely out of that toxic relationship and understand the triggers and be able to not be manipulated through guilt, to be able to really be free of that. So if you're still going back and forth within the relationship, don't even bother removing the hooks because the minute you talk to that person, they're going to get reattached anyway. So, but energy healers, same as Reiki masters, same as healing touch, anybody like that is perfect. All right. So those are always really, really good ones. So, but that's an easy way of cord cutting and or removing hooks. So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could do it with a piece of selenite or yourself. Or the third way of doing this is you can also ask Archangel Michael to cut by and cut those cords. So Archangel Michael, when he comes by, he can cut them with his sword. So you could also ask for a little bit of help with him. So that's another way that you can do it. So That's my best advice I can give you. So that's good stuff. Emily's asking, what about parents that are toxic? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. I'm sorry, but family is here to teach you some of the best lessons while you're here on earth. Remember, you picked your family. Your job is to figure out why exactly did you pick them, because they're going to be the complete opposite of you, and they're teaching you what not to do as a parent. Your job is to thank them from those lessons and forgive them for their ignorance. Tough to do, but it takes some work, but you can do it. So hopefully that one makes sense. What about a marriage where you're both working on it and it's still toxic? I think you already know the answer. So, because I'll tell you what, I don't tolerate toxicity anymore. Because I learned a long time ago, I am only in control of myself. I am the only one who can improve me. And if I can't improve me, I sure as hell can't improve anyone else. So, but it must begin with me. And if somebody is bringing me down, I'm either going to have to put up a proper boundary or simply put not allow it. And that's why I'm like going, and that's why I was single for a while. So, because I won't allow that anymore in my life. I refuse. So like I said, remember, your family members are going to be some of the most toxic. Your relationships are going to be the most toxic. But your job is to work through it. Work through it and understand where you belong within that. It's not your job to help them with their potential if they don't even see it within themselves. You can't. Let them go. Okay. So the next thing that I want you to do is, when it comes to relationships, distance yourself. How many of you guys have ever met an energy like a personal space invader, right? So what I mean, like literally give yourself some distance. So if they're like, the people that want to drain you, energy vampires want to drain you. So they want to get closer to you and you're just like, get away. So what I mean by that is like I said, give yourself some distance. Literally back up. So that's really going to help them from attaching or sucking your energy dry. Kathy, this is a really good question. I'm going to go back to this cord cutting question. Do moms have to cut cords with their kids as they age? Yes, they do, Kathy. And I'll tell you what I do. I take a hot salt bath probably 4 times a year, or 4 times a week, excuse me. And when I do, I will detach all cords, from my mother to my husband to my children to my dog, everybody. I will release all cords. And I will stand there with no cords being attached to one and one only, and that's God. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, when you die, that's what you got. That you're not taking your family with you. Your ties are cut when you die. So standing there when you're alive is okay to do that, because here's what's going to happen. And I will tell you what happens every freaking time. The minute I cut cords, what happens? Mom, there's one. The minute I go, what? Cords reattach. Here comes another one texting me. Hey, Ma, there's my second cord attached. And then Eric's like, babe. I'm like, there's my third cord attached. So your family members will attach your cords really, really quickly. So don't worry about you not being able to reattach those cords. It will happen fast. So, but it's okay to just relinquish all those cords at once. I just say, I hereby cut all cords that bind me to everyone. I just want to sit by myself, my soul, and in God's presence. That's it. And you know what? It's awesome for about 5 minutes. Takes up 5 minutes. And everything, people, even my dog, my cat's the worst. My cat like boxes at the door. So I'm like, yep, here comes. I mean, animals do it too. So, but like I said, that's the biggest one. Cut those cords. All right. So distancing yourself, maximize that distance between you and another person. The other thing is to understand where they're coming from. In order for you to truly forgive someone, you have to really look at how they were raised and to really understand that they don't know any better. So you got to be able to forgive that. But once you understand things from their perspective, you gain empathy. And therefore, you don't take it personal anymore. You empathize with that other person for them treating you like crap, doing what they did, and then you can release it. It gets harder when something's been personally done. But it needs to be done. Just repetitively keep working at it, and eventually you won't get triggered. This stuff, that's not an overnight thing. That ain't an overnight thing. It takes time. And sometimes if you counseling lessons, if you need, or sessions, if you need it, that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So, okay. Any questions within relationships? Like I said, cord cutting, set your boundaries, do your bubble tricks, minimize or distance yourself. There's, like I said, an understanding their perspective, having that empathy. Those are tricks that are really, really going to be able to help. Alrighty. So next, here's things that we can do to raise our vibration. Now, I've already done a video on how to raise your vibes, but this one is also not only how to raise the vibration, but to be able to keep that vibration high. That way, you vibe so high, toxic can't even get in. Boom. So that's eventually what we want to do. All right. So number one thing that we can do, meditate. You guys are going to get sick of me saying meditate. You got to learn how to meditate. Like I said, the biggest thing I can tell you is please don't have any expectations on how you think it's going to go. Throw that crap out the window because you're trying to control the situation. When you meditate, you are no longer in control. So just sitting there 5-10 minutes, getting a deep breath, breathing a little bit, chilling out. There you go. That's it. That's all you got to do. So eventually you'll get better at it. All right. So like I said, number one thing, I want you to learn how to meditate. That is not an easy thing to do. Patience. Meditation is not a quick fix. Can't do it that way. So try everything until you find something that you like. Some people like guided meditations. Some people like to walk and meditate. Some people like to sit full lotus position and do it. Some people like to sit in a chair, whatever floats your damn boat. So there is no right or wrong way to do it. Just do it your own way. All right. The other thing that you can do is, how do you clear your mind when you meditate? You don't. It's a crock. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been meditating for over 7 years now. It still takes me 8 minutes, 10 minutes to get my brain to sit down and shut the hell up. So you are not going to be able to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to think of nothing. That's a joke. It doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of practice to be able to get there. So cut yourself some slack. You're trying to get a chipmunk on cocaine to sit down and shut the hell up. And that's the first time you're talking to it. Good luck. So it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So baby steps with that. All right. So, okay. Outside of meditation, because we could talk about meditation a long time, but meditate. Okay. Big deal. So the second thing you can do is listen to high vibrational music. Now, what do I mean by high vibrational music? Music that makes you happy. But ultimately, we want to do higher vibrational music that's going to resonate. So 432 hertz, for instance, is a really high vibrational state to listen to. So plenty of stuff on YouTube. Just get on YouTube. Don't buy anything. You don't need to. But get on YouTube. Listen to anything that's 432 hertz. So what that does is open up the heart chakra. That's a very high vibrational state. So also listening to old school, like Beethoven, things like that. That has all been done before they changed the tone of A, I believe, to 444 hertz or 440 hertz. 440 hertz is no good. It's a no-go. They did it that way so people stay unenlightened. 432 hertz is the best vibrational hertz to be able to attune to. So that's a really good one. So just go down the rabbit hole on that one. So that's a whole nother subject. But listening to high vibrational music, awesome. Okay, another thing, seems common sense, but people forget. So another thing that you can do to help keep the vibration high is eating good food. Listen, if you're constantly eating cheeseburgers at the dollar menu in Taco Bell, you can't sit there and work on your enlightenment and truly work on who you are if you're not going to feed your body what it needs. So it's really common that the more you go through the spiritual awakening, the farther you get into it, your stomach isn't going to tolerate that crap anyway, because you're now vibrating at a higher energy level. And as a result, your body will not tolerate low vibrational food. I have never been lactose intolerant. I am highly lactose intolerant now. I cannot do preservatives, BHT, MSG, 20 minutes after I eat that, I got to find a potty quick. So that's what I'm saying, is that your body will no longer tolerate low vibrational foods if you're in a high vibrational state. It ain't going to work. That's why you're getting gut aches. That's why 20 minutes after you eat, you're hurting. That's why. So another thing outside of eating good, obviously staying hydrated. Drink water. So, but get some good water. A lot of people I know like to add crystals to their water. That's called an elixir. That makes it high vibe. The worst thing that you can drink is alcohol. Now, don't get me wrong. Kelly likes to have a cocktail once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. But I sure as hell am not going to read people or do anything when it comes to reading when I'm drinking alcohol. That's a no-go. What that does is not only does it lower your vibration. Remember, alcohol is a depressant. So it will lower your vibration. And if you drink too much, you won't remember and you feel out of control. When that happens, you open yourself up to spirit because your soul doesn't want to be in a toxic environment. Your soul moves over, something else moves in. So that's what happens if you overdrink or if you over excess. So Templeton, quit it. So if you drink too much, that's exactly what's going to happen. And then the next day you're like, what the hell happened? And they're like, you freaked out. You were hitting people. You were doing all this crazy stuff. You think you were in control of you? No, you weren't. And they don't call it spirits for nothing. So alcohol is a very low vibrational thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I'll have a cocktail once in a while, but I won't do it in excess. I won't do that. There's too much negativity, too much bad stuff going on right now. I'm not going to put myself in a place of allowance for that to happen. Templeton, stop digging at that. Weirdo. So that's the biggest thing. Joel said hormonal pregnant kid who is getting married next month. Help, she's way out there. Let her be out there. That's out of your control. It's her, sorry, but it's her shit show. So that's I'm like going, let her do her own thing. So your job is just to be like, I don't know. So step back. There's nothing you can do. So like I said, if she's not going to listen or reason, don't involve yourself. It's no different. If somebody's going to be unreasonable, somebody's not going to listen to you, quit doing it. Let them go. Let it go. So, because it's out of your control. Okay. So like I said, eat good food. Alcohol, watch the alcohol. So believe it or not, weed is better. And I hate to say that, but it's true because weed isn't going to lower your vibration. It might lower your thoughts so you can maybe tap in a little bit easier. But I always tell people, if you're doing weed and trying to meditate, it's a crutch. You should be able to meditate without that stuff. So, but the other thing is, like I said, watch your alcohol, watch the consumption. All righty. So another thing that you can do is laugh at yourself. Laughter is a high vibration. As a matter of fact, have you ever laughed so hard that you had tears in your eyes? Hang on one second. Steven, take care of Templeton. He's digging at that door. So the biggest thing is a good belly laugh will last you 24 hours of a high vibrational state. So watching comedy shows is a great thing to do. A lot of people are like, how am I going to cheer my person up? I'm like, take them to a comedy show. No joke. Because even if they're in a bad state, it's still going to have them vibrate a little bit higher, especially being around higher vibrational people, even if they don't feel like it. So bring it to them if that's the case. Watch that shit on Netflix. Yeah. So it's all good. All right. So another thing, not only being open to be able to laugh at yourself outside of being, laughing with other people, but don't be afraid to laugh at yourself too. We all embarrass ourselves. I do it probably more often than not, but my favorite thing is to embarrass my children at this point. But like I said, laughing at yourself is a good thing. Another thing, and this is something that I do every single morning, usually when I'm brushing my teeth and combing my hair, is saying 3 things that you're grateful for. And you know what? I would tell you, it doesn't have to be necessarily, big things. Like, when I was living in my trailer, I barely had enough money to buy toothpaste and toothbrush. And I remember asking my dentist if I could have a couple tubes of toothpaste and a few toothbrushes because I really couldn't afford it. And now that I have an automatic toothbrush, I know this sounds so stupid, but I'm really happy and grateful to be able to afford an automatic toothbrush. So it could be the little simple things to remind you from where you've been to where you're at now to be grateful for. So every day when I'm brushing my teeth or combing my hair, I will say 3 things out loud that I'm grateful for and it can't be the same thing that I said yesterday. So 3 completely different things. Gratefulness, thankfulness, joy, happiness, and love are some very high vibrational emotions that you can have. So saying grateful things is a very high vibration. Another thing is to think positive. Now, sometimes it's not always easy to think positive, but the more you meditate, the easier it gets to think more positive and get out of the victim mentality or get out of that negative state or get out of your anger or get out of your guilt. So remember, the 3 highest vibrational emotions is gratefulness, thankfulness, joy or happiness, and love. 3 of the lowest vibrational frequencies, fear. Fear is opposite of love. So the other one, guilt. The other one, anger. So anxiety is a form of fear. You're scared. So like I said, check yourself. How is your emotions? Are you swimming in this or are you swimming in this? So like I said, check yourself. Talk your way through it. It's how you slow the brain down. Talk your way through it. You're the only one who's going to call yourself out on your own crap, because if somebody else did, it's going to piss you off. So like I said, call yourself out on it, all right? The other thing that's going to help you be happy, that's really simple. Get outside. Get outside in Mother Nature. And if it's cold outside, it's hot outside, you don't want to be outside, at the very least, get some sunshine. Vitamin D on the skin always makes somebody happy. The other thing, sunrise and sunset. Watching the sunrise and sunset actually helps the pineal gland. It regulates melatonin and serotonin. It restarts it. So somebody who has insomnia issues, the first thing I'm going to recommend to them is get up and watch the sunrise. And if you don't like getting up, at the very least, watch the sunset, because it restarts that pineal gland, which is associated with melatonin and serotonin. So sunrise, sunset is a great thing. So is sunshine. Okay. Outside of nature, of course, nature always makes us happy. So barefoot is great. If you can be on the ground, that's always best. But even a mini hike, a walk, something, get outside. It really helps to not only get your blood pumping, it drains the lymphatic system and it provides dopamine to the brain. Happy vibes. Happy vibes. Another thing is exercising. And I'm not a big exerciser. I'll do yoga on the occasion. And I'm being real about that. I don't do that very often. But walking is an easy thing for me. That's something that I do. I try to do more often, even if I don't feel like it. But still, when I get back, I'm happier. So because again, it pushes the dopamine. So even a simple walk around the block, even when you don't feel it, is really going to help. It really, really will. And then the other thing, and here's the one where my empaths are like, oh my gosh. Okay, ready for this one? Wear bright colored clothing. So what is the one color that absorbs all the colors? It's black. So the worst color you can wear to raise your vibration is black. And my empaths are like, I wear black all the time. I'm like, yes, stop it. So break it up. At least if you're going to wear a black shirt, put something, a colored jacket, white. So don't you find it ironic that white clothing is associated with people in power, doctors, judges, things like that? Black is usually for mourning. It's usually a depressive color because it absorbs all colors. But also remember, it absorbs emotions too. So if you're an empath, you'll notice that when you wear black, more people are going to come to you and be like, I want your energy. They're going to be energy vampire in your butt. So, but if you wear white, usually they don't. Usually if they do, they're going to be like, hey, I got a quick question. Can I ask a quick question? It's usually an advice question and something that's not going to drain you nearly as much. So again, if you're wearing black all the time, ladies, I know it looks slimming. I know it does. But like I said, be real careful with that because again, it's going to absorb everything. Rarely do you see me wear black. I don't wear black very often. I don't. So, and that's the main reason why. I've learned, and at first when I thought about that, I'm like, well, it makes sense. So I tried it out. You know me, I'm going to try it. So I did a live audience reading. Usually I wear blue or any color besides black. But one time I tried to wear black with a live audience reading. I was freaking exhausted for 3 days afterward. I could not move. Even after the salt bath, even after I saged myself, I just was exhausted. So, but if I wear blue or any other color, I bounce back within 24 hours. So it really does make a difference. I was really surprised. I tried it out myself. It's true. It works. So like I said, any color besides black, okay, ladies? Because I know my ladies like to wear black. But don't get me wrong. Black pants with a white shirt or colored shirt, it's fine. Just break it up. But don't wear like 50 shades of black. Gray, black. So, but gray is at least better than black. So it really is. So, and then lastly, the other thing that you can do, or there's a couple things, actually, there's 2 more. 1, take a salt bath. You heard me talk about salt bath. I'm talking sea salt. Epsom salt, black salt, I don't give a just salt. Salt. So salt is an old pagan way on how to raise the vibes. So taking a salt bath really, really helps it rebounds your energy quicker. It really, really does. Epsom salt's good for sore muscles. But if you got some sore muscles and you're not feeling the best, add both. So you can add both. So, but Epsom salt's good for more muscular stuff. Really good for people with depression. So Epsom salt's really good for people with depression because they're usually magnesium deficient because it's magnesium sulfate. So, but regular salt, table salt in a pinch, I don't care, helps to raise the vibes. So it'll really, really help. All right. And then lastly, the other thing that you can do is surround yourself with really happy people. So I always tell people like energy attracts like energy. And a lot of people are like, well, how do I know how I'm vibing? I'm like, check your best friend. Is your best friend a negative, whiny bitch? Because if she is, most unlikely you are too. So like I said, like energy attracts like energy. So check your best friend. So that's why usually when we begin to go through an awakening, we kind of distance ourselves from those type of friends. So that's usually kind of a check with you to see where your vibration's at. All righty. So, and then lastly, the other thing is no complaining. No complaining. So find solutions instead of complaining. I'm a solutions person. I really am. I don't do I can't, or, I won't. No, you can. You just choose not to. So there's a big difference in that. So like I said, but, not complaining about your circumstances is how you begin to have that positive mindset. So don't get me wrong. Everybody gets set back. I did too. Everybody does. But complaining about it isn't going to get you anywhere further. Yes, don't get me wrong. Us girls need to vent. Oh, we need to vent. So I still got a bestie. I'm like, and we literally will pick up the phone or text back, bitch, I need to vent. And that means don't say a damn word. Let me get it out. So let me get out this venom and then I'm going to be cool. So that's what we have friends for, because my friends are not going to judge me for venting once in a while. But you know what? They do it too to me. They're like, I got vent. I'm like, go right ahead. I got time. So you're like, You don't sit there and interrupt. You just let them get it out. It really helps to, that's the time I'm going to give my energy to somebody, is when they need stuff like that. So, but that one, like I said, that's the best thing I do, is no complaining, no bitching, no whining. So we all get in those circumstances. Yes, vent it out, but pick yourself back up, find a damn solution, and move on. That's your job. That's your job. Brianna, what advice could I give my sister in a hooked, toxic relationship? Tell her to leave and not look back. If she chooses not to, she's doing it because she's choosing it. And there isn't a damn thing you can do. That you pray for, about all you can do. But literally say, you're in a toxic relationship, you need to leave, grab your stuff, walk away, and don't look back. But he needs me. No, he don't. He's using you. There's a big difference in that. So, but a lot of times people aren't going to see that. So let her crash and burn. And again, I know that sounds really crass, but it's true. There isn't anything you can do. You can't rescue somebody off the tracks if they refuse to go, because if you do, you're the one that's going to hit by the train, and then they're going to resent you for it, for trying to rescue them. So don't. You can fair warn them. Be like, do you not see the train coming down the track? Do you not know what's going to happen? Yes. Okay. So then you sit back and watch them get hit by the train. They're going to get into pieces, and then that's when you come in and help rebuild them back up. That's what family always does. Family's always there for one another. At least they should be. And if they're not, they're toxic. So, but at the same time, you can't stop a train wreck from happening. And it sucks to be able to watch it happen. It really, really does. But you won't be able to. She's going to leave when she's ready to. And she's going to have to hit rock freaking bottom for that to happen. So, and it's really frustrating. It really, really is. I mean, I do readings all day long, and I don't like it when the women know that their husband's cheating on them, but they're like, well, I need to see proof. I'm like, why? So you're just telling me that he's cheating, but you want proof. Really? Do you really need to see that? So that way it gives you an excuse to leave? No. So, like I said, I don't understand that mentality. And really the reason why is because they don't have enough self-confidence to leave. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's other reasons, maybe it's because of the kids, but ultimately that's their choice. So, and my job is to give advice on a plate. If they choose to go piss on it with the advice, that's cool. That's cool. I don't take personal offense to that, but that's what they're paying me to do, is to put advice on their plate. If they choose not to take it, that's okay. I wish them but the best, because usually when they're walking out, I'm like, Lord, would you help her, please? Because I can't. So I'm going to pray for you either way. So, but like I said, it's no different when it comes to family members. It's just harder to see because you love them and you want to protect them. But ultimately, you can't. You can't. You got to let them get hit by the train. That sucks. So, those are the best things that you can do that are pretty quick for you to help not only raise the vibration, but get rid of the negative, get rid of the stuff. The other thing I'm going to tell you that I forgot to mention, oh my gosh, it's not even on my list. It just popped in my head. Turn off the freaking TV. Turn off the TV, especially my empaths. Don't be watching TV right now. It's all about division, hate, politics, blah, COVID, fear. It's fear, division. Nothing happy on it. Don't watch it. Well, I mean, what are you really missing out on? The weather? Okay, fine. You got an app for that on your phone. So the biggest thing is please turn off the TV, especially with my empaths. You guys can't handle that. You can't. There's too much anxiety going on right now, and you're going to feel that stuff. So, like I said, make sure that you're not watching the news, especially comedy shows. Yeah. So, funny stuff. Yeah. So, but like I said, there's too much negativity going on with the news, and besides, we all know it's programmed. It's called programming for a reason. Let's not watch it, because all it does is it splits people. It divides people. We're supposed to be united. We're the freaking United States. We're supposed to be united. And right now there's a lot of division. Rightfully so, because things need to change. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, we need to come together with solutions and not keep focusing in on those problems. And that's what the news does, is it focuses on the problem. And I'm like, no, Where's the solution? Where's the solution? All right, guys. So like I said, don't watch the news. Bad, bad, bad. So, all righty. Outside of that, though, guys, I think that's pretty good. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, you're welcome, by the way. So, but does anybody have any questions at all? This will be, saved here on YouTube. So if you want to go back and watch it, you are more than welcome to go back and watch this. I'll also be posting this on my on my Facebook as well. So if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, please make sure that you do. Give this some thumbs up so that way everybody can kind of see it. It'll spread out throughout the YouTube community a little bit more. But like I said, really subscribe, because all these freebies that I've been doing, I want to make sure that you guys have access. I'm also going to be doing Law of Attraction on Thursday, this Thursday. It's going to be all about Law of Attraction, and it's about the secret, all that stuff. So I'm also still taking students for Enlightenment Academy. So Enlightenment Academy is kind of that next generation. It goes really deep into spiritual stuff. But if you're not seeing 1111, 444, 777, things like that, you're not ready to take it yet. So I'm going to tell you that's going to be over your head. Don't do it yet. But if you're seeing those numbers and those replicating numbers, then you're probably ready to maybe look into it. Go to my website, psychickelly.com. Everything's on my website. But again, I want to thank everybody for attending. Hang in there. The energy here is going to get a little spicy again. July is going to be spicy. So you thought June was spicy. Oh, wait, July is spicy, but July is all about peeling away all the old stuff. You're getting rid of old stuff, so all these new things can come in. August energy clears. It is full force better, all right? So June, July, we're going to work through it. So August gets a lot easier, a lot better for you. So just kind of hang in there, guys. Duck and weave. Remember, Mercury's in headed retrograde on Thursday. Venus is retrograde, so your exes are going to come out of the woodwork. Just say no. Just say no. So, like I said, now's not a time to be dating an ex. Because them rose-colored glasses are going to fall off when Mercury goes direct, and you're going to be like, oh, what did I do? I'm like, yep. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you, everybody, for attending this one. I will see you on Thursday. And in the meantime, have a wonderful evening. All right, guys? Take care. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.